you go. This is Emily C., my new bestie.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. Here she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really good.
Listen, Turtle, you gotta watch your language. You gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
She destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Good morning, everybody. I am still working out how to not be muted every time that this starts. I am so excited to be your substitute teacher today. And I feel a little bit like when the teacher leaves the classroom and like leaves a kid in charge, like runs to the bathroom, because I'm one of you. But I'm excited to be here. And Jimmy is not going to be here. He made it. He got on his flight. He made it to Disney. He is doing his thing again, like when he went to Tallahassee and then fully disappeared because I texted him and asked him for a picture to show you guys and have not heard back. So the only thing that he did say, I sent him a picture of the thumbnail for this video and he said, "I hate you." So who knows where he is or what he's doing. But I am super excited to be here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Emily C. You might know me as Dr. Rentschler or Hank Brennan or Beverly Cannoni. But today I am just me, and we are going to have kindergarten today. For those of you who don't know, I was a kindergarten teacher for 15 years. I taught in Boston. I live in Norfolk County. I left teaching in 2023 when my son was diagnosed with autism. I'm a stay-at-home mom with him now. That's why we're a couple minutes late. I was getting him ready and out the door for school. But now I'm very excited to be here with you today. In this classroom, we are the sea creatures. And I like to start every class but by asking you guys just to look at this picture of the different sea creatures. And if you feel comfortable, just sharing in the chat which sea creature you're feeling like today and why. I would say that I feel like, let me see. I feel a little bit stressed because I still get panicked every time that the live stream starts, but I am starting to ease into it a little bit more. When I hear my little theme song, I immediately start hyperventilating. I feel very loved. I feel like that loved seahorse because you guys are honestly the absolute best. I'll probably be hungry at some point because I didn't eat breakfast. But I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Oh, yay. Tired and confused. I hope that I can ease your confusion a little bit. I am getting a little bit better at being able to pay attention to the chat while we're doing this. Zach, I made the sneaky fish for you. I'm getting a little bit better at being able to read the chat while I'm also talking to you guys, but I'm still unbelievably amazed by when I watch Melanie Little and she's just beep bopping, reading documents, putting up messages, responding to them. I don't have that quite yet, but I'm excited to be getting better at it, and I'm excited that you guys are giving me the chance to get better at this. Thank you to the Trial Channel for being my mod and the best person on the internet. We're gonna watch some clips from Trial today, and everything that we show ever on here is from the Trial Channel. Okay. I have an agenda for us today. Also hold on. Last night when I decided I was going to do this yesterday, I felt like genuinely when this was like one of my first days teaching, and suddenly like my mind was reeling. I had 100 different things I wanted to do, so many things I wanted to show you. I made slides. So I'm excited to get the chance to do this and really feel like I'm a teacher again. I'm just reading your guys' feelings today. American Dreamer, you are cool. You are the cool turtle. My zodiac. And one thing I want to get better at, and I'm trying to improve on, is not just like reading the chat messages to myself in my head and then responding, but saying your name and the message out loud, because I'm usually, when I'm listening to YouTube videos, I'm usually just having an earbud in and like running around doing 100 things. And I get annoyed when people just read it in their head and then respond to it. So I'm going to try to be better at that. So Irish Mima says, my zodiac is the crab, but I don't feel angry. I will go with the redfish, tired. I think we're all tired. Like, have you ever not been tired? Like, I'm just tired all the time. I went on the other night to do a bedtime story at 9 o'clock, and I was like, whoa, like I'm too tired for this. But now at 9 a.m., I also kind of feel too tired for this. So I think I'm just always tired. Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. So Annie says here, can you recommend your favorite toothpaste? Please say anything random, ask any random questions in the chat, because that would make my life easier and really feel like you're like real people on the other side of this. My favorite toothpaste, hands down, is the Arm & Hammer. I don't know what it's called, like Arm & Hammer Total Care or something. It's the only toothpaste I'll ever use. When I use any other toothpaste, I feel like my mouth is not clean. Sheila says, isn't it usually a bit wild in the classroom when there's a substitute teacher? Yes. I actually used to, like if we had like state testing or something and a teacher needed to be out of their classroom for kids who had like extended time, I would go in. So I was in the same classroom at the same school for 13 years. And my first little babies were like all the way up. It was a K-8. So I would always offer to just pop in and like read a story or something. And they were never wild with me, because when you see your kindergarten teacher, I feel like it's like grounding. So maybe you guys can have that mindset and give me some grace. Eeyore says, did you watch the hearing yesterday? Because I'm confused how they can have the dismissal hearing on the same day as the DQ hearing. Seems like a time warp sitch. I agree. I'm not going to weigh in too much on what happened yesterday, because I am waiting to like learn more from Brother Counsel and the rest of the YouTube crew that explains everything to me really clearly before I like try to impart any wisdom on anybody else. So I was watching Melanie's stream yesterday when they were starting, and she was like, is anybody boots on the ground? My husband wanted to do the speech therapy with my son at 2:45 that I normally do. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll go to the courthouse. I drove to the courthouse. I got there, and then I was like, I can't go inside. Like, this is too weird. So I walked around outside. I went to the farmer's market outside, which was very lovely. But I need to go with somebody the first time I ever actually go inside a courtroom, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. So if somebody ever wants to go with me, to a hearing, I would love. Eeyore, I wish I had gone into. I need to just stop overthinking things. But welcome to my brain. The Goodmans asked what my favorite food is. That's such a good question. Okay, hold on. I love sushi. Like sushi is probably my number one. I love. Okay, so we're just already off the rails, but something that I've learned about parenting that is like one of the hardest things is that you have to feed your child every single day, 3 meals a day and snacks and everything. And my son is a very picky eater. He has some like sensory things with his autism, and we're trying to figure out like what foods he agrees with. And I had a parent-teacher conference with his teacher once, and she was like, well, why don't you just give Carter like what you guys have for dinner? And I was like, I don't even know. Like last night I ate a bag of lettuce. What do you mean like give him my food? So anyways, if anybody has suggestions about how to like keep myself and my child sustained and alive, that would be great, because I'm not great at it. But okay, so I have a little agenda today. We're already doing one random things. Where did that just go? Olivia just said, I overthink the simplest things. I really appreciate hearing that, because same. And I do think it works out in the end, overthinking things, because usually I end up like happy with the outcome of what I was overthinking. Sometimes no, like not going in the courtroom. But so one is random things. And then number 2, I have a book I want to share with you to just spread some kindness and help us kind of like reframe our thoughts on the world around us. Then I want to talk about, this is kind of like my Roman Empire, and I really can't stand when people say Roman Empire. So if you have another term for that, that would be great. But the snow in the Karen Reed trial, I want to talk about that. And then I have a fun book to end our class together. Okay, these are all really helpful. I have tried the Dr. Prager's spinach and broccoli littles, and I'm trying to get him into, Carter's number one food is pepperoni pizza. I can't quite figure out what the like thing is. I saw somebody ask if it's like color or texture. Yeah. He likes like big flavorful foods. He loves barbecue chips. I don't like barbecue chips at all. He loves barbecue chips. He loves pepperoni pizza, but he won't try anything new. So I've been trying to get him into chicken nuggets, because I feel like if we get into chicken nuggets, then we can like, there's a whole world that opens up with like putting other things into chicken nuggets. And that's what I'm working on. He really liked ketchup for a little bit, and I was like, yes, we're like almost there. And then he just stopped liking ketchup. So that was annoying. Okay, the other random things I had, what Jazz RN. Also, Jazz RN, I know I've heard people say your name on other streams, Jazz RN, and I'm glad I heard that, because I would have called you Jazzrin. She said, my autistic grandson loves hot chips. It is just so funny to me, because I was expecting him to kind of want like bland foods. He like touches everything before he tries it. But he loves like spicy barbecue chips and spicy pepperoni. Okay, so here's some other random things I wanted. These are some things that just popped into my head over the past few days of being in Jimmy's class that I wanted to share with you. So the other day he called it like Spirit Week when he was talking about Boston Mike. And it reminded me that when I was teaching kindergarten on Zoom, we were like trying to do a bunch of things to make Zoom teaching fun. And we had a Spirit Week. And this just like really made me laugh, because this was 2020. Like, what was the world then? Like, what was going on? that just cracked me up. The other thing that made me laugh the other day was when he was calling his call in, like a radio station. And I wanted to share this for local people. So there was a trend on TikTok where you said, like, this is what I looked like when I used to listen to this song. And I posted, this is what I looked like when I used to call Jammin' 94.5 to talk to Baltazar and Pebbles and request this song every morning before school. And the song was that one that was like, I can't even sing this. The one that's like, let me lick you up and down till you say stop. And then suddenly Baltazar and Pebbles and Melissa were in all my comments and like added me as a friend on TikTok. So now I'm like connected to Baltazar and Pebbles. So for anybody local, I feel like you'll appreciate that. And that made me laugh. Yes. The other random thing I wanted to show you. So I was talking a few I was talking a few weeks ago or whenever we did this about this turtle that always shows up at my house every year, like on almost the same date, and lays her eggs in my driveway. And so I wanted to pull up some pictures to show you. So this was
Yeah, see that? See that little lilac bush that's on the opposite side of my car in the back?
oh yes, I got one. And I was telling you guys that she actually is a really nice turtle.
Wow, that's
They can bother
his
us.
nails. He needs to get his nails cut.
And then, okay, so this is the best part. So there was only 1 year in 2020 that we saw the baby turtles hatch, and it was literally the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Wow. Gotta go under that thing. Oh, he's bleeding.
I know, I told you.
Or is that like a berry?
I don't know. It looks like blood.
So that was just something cute that I wanted to share with you. That's so cool. Melanie Gore said, I just swam with sea turtles. That is so cool. Okay, the next part is the snow. Okay, I'm gonna check. Okay, you guys are the best. Thank you, Dexter, Save Us from the Commonwealth, for becoming a new member. Thank you, Irish Mima, for becoming a new member. Zach sent $2 and says, what does this button do? I feel like a real YouTuber now. Wow, I feel like I'm like acting. Kathy said, a substitute I actually like. I love you guys. This is so exciting. Zach said, you should not read this comment. Well, too late for that. Zach said, I feel sneakily, proudly hungry. Love it. That's a good, sneakily, proudly hungry. It's a good combination. Zach said, class will be quieter if Meatball and I sit on opposite sides of the room, but who wants a quieter classroom? That's actually, I know you just kind of mean this as a joke, but that's something that I spent a lot of time in my teaching career, like trying to impart on other people, that it became this weird trend in teaching that like the quieter your classroom, the better teacher you were. And I completely disagree with that. Like, obviously you don't want kids like screaming, running, being unsafe, but I always felt like if I walked into a completely silent classroom for too long, it meant like kids weren't working hard enough. Real learning happens when people are engaging with each other and talking to each other. So I actually really do think that not like a noisy classroom, but like an engaged classroom is one where you hear kids talking. Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain. I've seen your name so many times. I'm excited to finally say it out loud. said, can we discuss how the fence at John O'Keefe's house changed? It really grinds my gears. Did they change their fence? Also, Zach started a food fight, so I slapped him with some cold sketty. Yeah, see, you keep him in line. Did they change the fence? I didn't see that. Okay. So the first thing I really wanted to do today is I wanted to share a book with you, just to spread some kindness in the world. I think there's a lot of angst online, and I think that angst is coming out in terms of people being just being so quick to be mean to each other, quick to be angry at each other. And I have a book that I want to share with you called I Am You, a book about Ubuntu. And before I read this book, if you are local and slightly elderly like me, you'll remember when the Celtics won the championship in 2008, they had a motto called Ubuntu. And if you listen to any interviews with the players from that team, you'll know that they attribute that idea of Ubuntu. Okay, not elderly, but you know what I mean. They attribute this mantra of Ubuntu to why they were able to work together as a team so well. I love that. Pure Duckery said, I remember Larry Bird winning championships. Okay, you're awesome. And before I read this book to you, I want to show you a video. Oh, shoot. I should have done this ahead of time. I want to show you a video from that team about this. Okay, wait. Share screen. Okay. Hold on. Almost got it. Okay.
In the fall of 2007, Doc Rivers was searching for ways to bring his team together. A chance encounter at his alma mater, Marquette University, presented him with that opportunity.
This lady named Stephanie sitting next to me said, hey, Doc, have you ever heard of Ubuntu? You need to get your team to practice Ubuntu. And I'm like, I don't know what Ubuntu is.
The definition of Ubuntu is, I am who I am because of you. So
keep that in your mind. I am who I am because of you.
Essentially, my shine is your shine. My success is your success.
What? Okay.
Doc always felt strong about me delivering this because I live this concept.
Big Baby of all people. On the first day of training camp, I had him read the definition of Ubuntu to the team. This is not a joke. This is not a rookie hazing. And if you don't do this well, I'm going to be upset.
At first, I had no idea. Like, I thought it was like a African, warrior type of thing, and then he was like, hey, I want all rookies to go paragraph about what Ubuntu means. And I was just like, wow, this is dope. And it was, a metaphorically cool way to get everybody like on the same page.
They did it with passion. They were grabbing their heart. They were talking about it. And right when they finished, I said, all right, let's get it in. And Kevin Garnett says, on 3, Ubuntu. And that's where it started.
We sort of just created our own little mini cult.
That word, it melted right into what we was doing.
We need each other to succeed. One person can't do it by itself.
I can't be all I can be unless I make you all you can be.
I am if you are. I have to embrace your good, because if you're good, That makes me good.
Everything we talked about was in Ubuntu. When we got in the hood, it was in Ubuntu. That's what we bled. That's what we said.
And that philosophy was the best thing that could have happened to that team that year.
And even to today, you know, the guys I talk to, we always say, you know, Ubuntu.
Doc wasn't done with motivation.
Okay. So that is kind of where I had first heard this word. And then I found this children's book that I just fell in love with. And the reason why I wanted to share it today, Nicola says, Twitter needs to see this. That's exactly what I was thinking. My mom, who watches this, and I don't know how she's going to feel about me sharing this, but my mom once was frustrated with somebody at her work. And she kind of found herself like always thinking, like immediately because she was so frustrated with that person, anytime that they like shared anything, she kind of found herself like always being annoyed. And she like played a game with herself where she said, I'm not allowed to think anything negative about that person until I think 10 nice things about them first. So if they would start to talk and she would feel herself like feeling something negative, she would force herself to first find 10 nice things to say about them just in her mind, like not out loud or anything. And she had told me that really changed her mindset about that person. And that really stuck with me because I think it's really true that like when you start to get in that like negative mindset about other people, you assume the worst. I even see it like, I think the judges in a lot of these cases that we're following need to practice this. It felt like the judge from the Salem court like was assuming the worst of Bradel immediately. And instead of thinking something nice, like, well, I know Bradel is a good and decent man. I know that he wouldn't just like stand me up for no reason. I think if that judge had shifted their mindset, it would have made a difference for the way that they reacted. And so I wanted to share this book with you. So get comfortable. It's called I Am You, a book about Ubuntu. And the pictures are really amazing. So if you're at your device and you're able to see the pictures, I would recommend that. I Am You, a book about Ubuntu. And I don't want to butcher this author's name. The author's name is Refilo Moaloli. And the front, there's a note from the publisher, and it says, Ubuntu means I am because you are. And it just has a little history of the word. Told you the pictures are so good. When I look into your eyes, I see myself. I am you. When I look into your eyes, I see your heart. I embrace you. Oh, and Nurse of Interest Jackie just said, can we have a reading list posted in bio? Yes, I have an Amazon list that I will make sure that you guys get. I love you. And because I love you, I love myself too. Oh, wait. When I look into your eyes, I see your beauty. I love you. And because I love you, I love myself too. When I smile as our eyes meet, when I hug you as we say hello, when I share what little I have with you, and when I walk home with you after school, I love you and I love myself too. When I listen as you tell me your stories, when I dance as I see you dance, when I laugh as I hear you laugh, when I hold your hands as you cry, I love you and I love myself too. We may look different, you and I, sound different, act different, eat different food, and live in different places. But our hearts beat the same. I am you. Now, this is like the part that really I think Twitter needs to hear. To hurt you is to hurt myself too. To tease you is to tease myself too. To ignore you is to ignore myself too. I am you. And then to care for you is to care for myself. To be gentle with you is to be gentle with myself. To be kind to you is to be kind to myself. I am you and you are me. I am because we are one. The end. So I hope you love that book as much as I do, because I don't think like I'm not out of touch with reality. Like, I understand that the world we live in is complicated, and I understand that not everybody's just going to wake up and be like rainbows and butterflies and kindness. But I do think that if little by little people can choose kindness and react with kindness, or like have kindness in your mind when you're reacting, I think it little by little can make a difference. And if you think about like the ripple effect of like somebody smiles at you at the grocery store and you weren't expecting it, and it kind of puts you in a little bit better mood, and then you smile at somebody else and that uplifts the next person. I really do think that we have the power to just put a little bit of good into the world that wasn't there before. And that it, like Eeyore just said here, and don't always react. Like, not when you aren't feeling negative, then you don't feel the need to react to everything all the time. Nicola said we rise by lifting others. I completely agree. Sarah Todd said, Emily, thank you for sharing this book. So wonderful. It reminds me of the book Whoever You Are by Mem Fox. 100%. I love that book so much. Whoever you are, wherever you are, all over the world. Oh, and in that book, there's a line that says like, hearts are the same and love is the same. Tears are the same and blood is the same. And kids always like panic when they see that part. Okay, let me see. See, this is the part where I have trouble, where like I want to read everything that you guys just said, but I also don't want to just sit here in silence and have you all hanging there. Okay. Let's see. I skipped the blood part for a few years. Yeah. If for those of you who don't know, in that book, there's a picture of a little kid who just like skinned their knee, but it says blood is the same, and it literally makes kids panic. This book was called I Am You, and I'm going to add it to my Amazon list. And that book I will also add. Let me write myself a note. That book is called Whoever You Are by Mem Fox. Oh, thank you. Bethany said, well, wait, I appreciate that. Kara Duckery said, I'm a mail carrier. Can I just tell you, I think mail carriers are the best people like on earth and underrated. I'm a mail carrier and see many people every day. I always treat everyone how I would want to be treated. It makes a big difference to people. There is something about when our mail carrier comes and is just like so friendly and kind that like truly does make a big difference. We had a mail carrier who recently retired, and he used to carry treats for my dog. And now our current mail carrier lets my son like go and get the mail and like check out the back of the mail truck. And it like really does change our day, just that little bit of happiness. Also, do you know the book called No Mail for Mitchell? It's from like when I was a kid. It's about a mail carrier who's always delivering all the mail, but then he never gets any letters for himself, and he's always sad when he gets home. And then one day they all write him letters. The Jolly Postman is also another great book. Nancy said, my mailman looks like Santa, and I just love him. I love that. How fun is that, like during the Christmas season? Okay. I'm gonna do, okay, now back to our agenda. That was our read aloud about kindness. Now we're gonna shift our focus to Snow and the Karen Reed trial. And this is something I've been, this is something I've been thinking about like nonstop because it's been driving me like absolutely crazy. But with the kind of like infighting going on online right now, I hear a lot of people saying like we need to refocus back to like justice for John O'Keefe. We need to refocus back on what matters. And I completely agree. This might be like slightly controversial. This will be my first controversial take. I think focusing just on like justice for John O'Keefe is a very tricky concept at this point, because to me, like justice means like the people closest to him who are still living want to see justice. And that like gets very complicated with the way that his family feels about the outcome of the trial. And I have a hard time just feeling like we all need to be like fighting for justice when it's not entirely clear what that would look like for the people closest to him. So for me, what like motivates me to stay engaged with the injustice that like we all saw is the idea of holding the people in power accountable, and like not, and making sure that they can't just get away with lying to our faces over and over again. And that is where the Snow really just, I can't let it go. Like the way that the glare is with the shoe, the way I feel about the Snow on January 29th, 2022 is Roman Empire. I don't know why I don't like when saying Roman Empire, but so this is a video that if you follow me, I'm sure you've seen, but I just want to play it to kind of start this conversation. And then we're going to rewatch some of the most like nonsensical moments of the trial about this. If you think Karen Reed is guilty, or if you're even on the fence and you're not quite sure, I have a fun and easy experiment that I would love for you to do. This experiment is based on this map showing that all 47 pieces of Karen Reed's taillight were found on the front yard at 34 Fairview, and this diagram from the Mass State Police showing the date that each piece of taillight was recovered. These last pieces were found by Michael Proctor on February 18th, 2022, and remember the incident happened on January 29th, 2022. So here's the experiment. Go outside and break something in front of your house, and then in 3 weeks, go get the pieces and see how many are on your front yard and put it back together. I wouldn't use anything polycarbonate because that doesn't typically shatter. And probably don't use glass because you don't want to give your neighbors a flat tire. And before you start talking to me about a plow, I've lived in Massachusetts all 39 years of my life. I know the difference between a plow and a snowblower. Also, while we're on the topic of snow, Proctor found these pieces on February 8th, these pieces on the 11th, and these pieces on the 18th. I live 10 minutes from 34 Fairview, and I took this picture on February 9th, this picture on February 12th, and this picture on February 17th. See, this is why metadata is helpful. Proctor was searching like 30 feet of grass. Why did it take you 3 searches to find these pieces? So if you do the experiment, let me know how it goes. Okay. So I went back through like everything in my phone when I was watching the first trial because I was like, they're talking so much about how they couldn't do any, like no investigation, nothing, all because of the snow. And the other thing that I stumbled on, I posted, where did it go? I posted this on my Instagram story, January 29th, 2022 at 6:44 a.m. For the record, I live 12 minutes from 34 Fairview. So little did I know, 12 minutes away at 6:44 a.m., we know now, like, the scene was cleared. Like, John was on his way to the hospital or already arriving at the hospital. Jen McCabe had already gone inside. The scene was cleared. And I'm meanwhile outside, out for a little walk. There's just a little dusting of snow. And I said I had to get out before getting snowed in. That's how much snow there was at that time. If this had been like a real investigation, they would have been like, oh my gosh, this was amazing timing because like we were able to get here before the snow started and now we can go inside the house and do an actual investigation. But that clearly we know is not what happened. Yes, the snow was bad, but it wasn't even that bad. I had posted, well, we have school on Monday, and we did have school on Monday. This picture was taken that Monday. I did a little experiment with my class where we brought in some snow from outside, and then we kept track of how long it took to melt, which like they can melt all the snow at Gillette Stadium for a football game. They have melters. If there really had been all that taillight on the lawn, they could have melted the snow to find it. But instead, it was kind of like the snow became the story, and the snow became this thing that they were able to kind of use for their lies. And that really makes me frustrated. And yes, enough to track a cat. A bunch of you were just saying enough to track a cat. That was even a witness that wasn't called by the defense. So like, love him, but that it was kind of like the snow just became a lie that like everybody was okay with. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess there was a lot of snow. They couldn't do anything. So I want to talk about the snow. First, so this is it's so tiny. You're not going to be able to see it, but is there a way I can make it bigger? Oh no. For those of you who haven't done this before, the screens like get hidden and then I can't find where they are. Okay. Does that look any bigger? No. This is the data from the airport. And actually the airport where they do this is like directly in between my house and 34 Fairview. For anybody who thinks like maybe there would be like a blizzard just in Canton, but nowhere else. So the heavy snow started at 9:25, which is more than enough time for them to have cleared the scene. They literally did clear the scene. They left. And then this part up here, where there was literally no snow in this time frame, that's the part I really want to focus on today. And doo-doo-doo. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. I do have timestamps, so at least I won't waste your time for that. The trial channel, playlists, I click on this so often that the second I click on the playlist for Karen Reed 2.0, it's Bev saying, so it's now time for the opening statements. And it's like, I have that part stuck in my head all the time. Okay, we're going to watch Yuri Buchanan just lie to us, just fully think that we're too dumb to notice that he's lying. And this is the part that really bugs me. Okay. So Yuri Buchanan, that genius of a investigator, interviewed Higgins and just took everything that he said at face value and was like, well, I guess he's telling the truth. And there was so much snow. And this is also why Trial Channel is the best, because they make title, what do you call it? Timestamp titles. And this timestamp title is John Hidden by a Snowbank, ? Yeah, let's see. Share screen. Share that. Look at that face. Oh, goodness. Okay.
Custody and sitting Southern Court in Kent. Correct?
I believe the first tail light piece was found after it was in our custody. I don't know the exact time. I'd have to see it.
When you talked to when you talked to Brian Higgins, did you ask Brian Higgins about potentially seeing John's body when he left 34 Fairview and headed over to Canton PD?
Yes, I did.
You knew that at that time, say 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, there was about 2/10 of an inch of dusting of snow, correct? Very light.
At that point in time, there was a coating. I cannot speak to the amount of snow that was on the ground.
But Brian Higgins told you in that interview that he didn't see the body because it was hidden by a snowbank. Yes.
He didn't see the body because it was hidden by a snowbank. For those of you who are in warm weather places, snowbanks are formed in the middle end of a snowstorm when the plows have come by multiple times and kind of piled up the snow from the road onto the corners of onto the edges of the road, and then like say it's blocking your driveway and now you have to shovel out your driveway, so you take all that snow that was in front of the driveway and kind of pile it up onto the corner. That is a snowbank. At this time, there was barely a dusting enough to track a cat, meaning like you could still see the ground.
Did he say that to you?
I don't have a memory of that, Your Honor.
Yes. Take a look at page 3. There's a highlighted portion. Do you mind? May I approach? Yes.
And this is why Trial Channel is the best, because you don't have to sit here and see Yuri just pretend to look over this and pretend to refresh his memory, blah, blah, blah.
Does that refresh your recollection that Brian Higgins said something about a snowbank at the time when he left 34 Fairview?
He stated the reason he did not pay attention to the grass is he was concerned with his snowplow on his vehicle and was not paying attention to anything over the snowbank, just with the plow in front of him as he operated the vehicle.
And of course, you knew at the time, as a detective and an investigator, you knew at the time that with a dusting of snow, there is no snow. Yeah.
He mentioned plowing the driveway for the Alberts when he arrived, so there might have been...
He mentioned plowing the driveway when there was no snow.
...coating, and he was just plowing it and then creating a line. I cannot speak to...
Creating a line? He's in a Jeep. To not be able to see over a snowbank, it needs to be like 10 feet high.
How much snow was actually being plowed with the dusting that was on the ground. So there might have been a small snowbank. Again, he was referencing it. He was not paying attention to anything behind the snowbank. So behind it.
Snowbank being in the yard. Actually, he said the lawn.
Yeah,
Sorry. We talked about the snowbank being in the lawn. Not the right. That's
Also, was that Bev just objecting? Did she just say object? Hold on.
Actually, he said the lawn.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Did Bev just object? Is that allowed? Did she just say the word objection? Okay, anyway.
We talked about the snowbank being in the lawn. Not the right. That's how he said.
he said he was not paying attention anything past the snowbank being the lawn.
And did not pay too much attention to the lawn area behind the snowbank. Correct?
Right, off of that area. Right.
Okay, so there's that, where they think we're stupid. And then some more just real thinking we're stupid. Hold on. Okay, so I'm not an expert on, I'm not going to like speculate about if videos are edited or how they were edited or whatever, but the surveillance video of Higgins at the Canton Police Department at whatever time, what do you guys know what time that was? Like 1:30 a.m. There was not snow on the ground yet. So the way that the video appears makes it look like the entire parking lot is covered in snow. And it is barely or not. But listen to how Yuri Buchanan, the world's best detective, narrates that video.
I couldn't. No, I'm sorry.
Mr. Ward, can we back that up with the court's permission? About 2 seconds. Stop. Did it appear as something in his hand?
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay. And just for, I'm going to ask you for 2 times when we start and when we stop. What's the time on this video at this point when he walks into frame?
1:35 and 8 seconds in the morning, a.m.
Okay. And let's go ahead and play this through.
Oh, wait, I might have missed the part. Hold on.
5.
Video at this point when he walks in. Times when we start and when we stop. What's the time on
Hold, please. I want to make sure I get the part where he talks about this. Where's transcript? Transcript. And thank you to who was that? Hello Kitty for gifting memberships. Actually, we'll do this. I'll pause for 1 second, regroup. Thank you so much for gifting memberships, Hello Kitty. That's literally the nicest thing you could do because I now can have members, and that's like the most exciting thing in the entire world. Cassie became a new member. Mimi became a new member. Cyber Chicken Boston became a new member. And while you're waiting for me to get my act together, type in Cyber Chicken Boston into YouTube and go subscribe because she is starting an expose that you're going to want to follow. And I'm super excited about it. You bring light into this world. Nancy became a new member. Michelle said, Ubuntu is a philosophy used in South Africa. I'm a university lecturer. How cool is that? And I share your love of teaching. Ubuntu is one of my university's core values. What an amazing place to work. P.S. My donation is in South African rand, so it looks more than it actually is. I'm learning about new currency just being on YouTube. Okay. Now let me find where he talks about okay.
As far as I could tell from here, the individual accessed Brian Higgins' vehicle, so I'd be speculating with the whiteout conditions or near whiteout conditions. It's tough to tell.
But no reason
Whiteout conditions. It was a dusting of snow.
to believe it's anybody other than Brian Higgins accessing Brian Higgins.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's go ahead and play it. And what do you see Brian Higgins or that person doing now?
They accessed the vehicle on the far left.
Okay. And where's that person going?
So he's saying he can't say for sure that that's Higgins because it's whiteout conditions, even though we can all see it's Higgins and it's going to Higgins's car.
Now they're accessing the Jeep Wrangler.
Let me pause it. Where does that individual appear to be now in the video?
Last I could tell, they might be by the Jeep Wrangler.
Before that person got to the Jeep Wrangler, was he standing by the vehicle on the far left? SUV or truck?
It appeared that way, but with the heavy whiteout snow that night, I can't tell exactly what they were.
Yep, he couldn't tell because of the heavy whiteout snow. So yeah, he couldn't see what we can all just watch in the video because the heavy whiteout snow just made it like so hard. Like Higgins couldn't see over the snowbank from the whiteout snow. And yeah, that's the kind of thing that just has really stuck with me. And the other part of the snow story, the like lie that they are perpetuating, has to do with when they find the taillight. So I don't know who made this. I don't know who originally made this graphic. If any of you know, I would love to like credit them, because this graphic shows which pieces were found by who and when. And if you look at oh, it's so small. This little box at the top, it says Proctor, February 18th, 2022. So those last pieces that also just coincidentally happen to all fit together in the same little corner of the taillight. Yeah, I think it was Brandy Churchwell too. Thank you. Brandy Churchwell is like her brain is the most amazing. I just love the way that she explains things and outlines them and makes it all make sense. So not only were all those pieces that were found on the 18th, these little pieces that all fit together in the same neat little corner, which, wow, like what, how convenient. But on, whoopsies, on February 12th, we had record high temperatures. Boston breaks high temperature record. It was 60 degrees and it was a beautiful day. There was no more snow left on the ground. It had rained a few days before this. Rain, for those of you who live in warm weather places, melt snow. And then it was a record high temperature. We reached record highs. That was on February 12th. And still, they went back on the 11th, I think that date is. Hold on. So I think this one over here is the 11th. So the day after the record high temperatures, where there's now no more snow left on the ground, but they still didn't find this little corner until another week later. And that annoys me. Yes, the magic appearing taillight. So when my point of saying all of this is when people are like, what? Move on. Why do you care? Blah, blah, blah. For me, it's because if we move on now and if we all kind of like get mad at each other now and forget about this now, they get away with that. Like, I hope the FBI is still investigating, but like it doesn't feel like it, because it feels like we all cracked the case already, and it should be easy to like make moves, and nothing is happening that I feel. So for me, like making sure that they're not allowed to just do this in silence and get away with it is my motivation for staying invested in this. Proctor was on that Matt Gutman interview still saying like, well, what Alan Jackson doesn't know is that the taillight revealed itself over the next XYZ days, da da da. Okay. And then the whole other piece of justice for Aiden is another reason to stay involved, but that's a whole nother piece of this. I just don't like the idea. I don't like being lied to. I consider myself a very honest person, and like I find it hard to lie. I don't like it when people lie. It just feels like, why live in a world where lying is okay? And if we take our eyes off of this now, then they get away with lying. And that's that. That's my rant for today. Someday I'm very like motivated by, I really love Samantha Beningo's videos, and I love the way that she like really like makes a point throughout each one of her videos based on video evidence. At some point I want to put together a whole video like that with all of their testimony with the snow. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I will do it sometime. But yeah, that's my rant about the snow. Let me check all this out now. What's going on over here? You guys are seriously the best. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny was my first member before I even like realized that I like got the email that said that I was able to be like a partner, whatever they call it. And then suddenly there was Jenny as a member. That was like the best news. RN Rome, what is it? RN Rome, Georgia. Nurse in Rome, Georgia. Did I get that right? Look at your dog with his little wheelies. Became a member. Hello, Kitty. You're just actually the most generous and kind person. Thank you. This is so nice. This is so nice. Yes, Samantha Beningo is the way that she also doing this now and feeling like I am talking to myself into the abyss. I am so amazed by the way she is able to like organize her thoughts and just like keep going on a live stream. That is seriously very impressive. Yeah. What are the chances that all their individual pieces formed a bigger piece? Also, for people who, can we talk about that part for one more second? For people who are not from cold weather places, when it snows and then the plow comes by, if the taillight had all been in the road like they originally said, and like how ARCA proved that it couldn't have also flown to where John's body was, the plow would have pushed everything down the road. If all of this was true, you would have been finding taillight pieces like up the road, down the road, in somebody else's driveway, in a snowbank at the end of somebody else's driveway. The fact that they made such a big deal about that straw, the straw would not have still been where John was, because the straw would have gotten pushed back and forth up and down the street when the plows come by. Like for people in like warm weather places, the plows come by in a snowstorm every like 15 minutes. And they're salting the roads. The plows coming this way, the salt trucks going that way. There's like Lucky talked about, there's private plows that are coming, like little, like what Tristan was supposed to be doing. There's big plows like what Frankentruck was doing. And still, like the little straw that could just held on tight right in front of the house, didn't go anywhere. It's just weird. I don't know if they whatever the only DNA apparently that they cared about was the 2 little strands of hair that was actually 1 little strand of hair. And like for anybody who has hair, like my hair sheds everywhere. Like my hair would be stuck to my car and in the under my seat and in the trunk. My hair's it's a little bit annoying, but that doesn't mean you got hit by a car. Hi, Broken Baker. And the water from the melting snow and rain would move it. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Wait. So Rome nurse, I think from Jordan, I don't know how to read your name. The cutest little dog said, "You're doing great. Can you do some Dear Diary stuff?" I'm really trying to figure out how to do this. I even started a recording the other day where I was going to try to like be Hank writing in my diary and then be like thinking back and then have it show parts from the trial. But I don't know how to do it. I want to do that. If somebody is like good with video production, knows how to do this, I really want to. I just don't know how. And then I feel weird just like reading it. Maybe I will just read it. I did say, so in my outro that always gives my mom a headache and makes me laugh, I have Hank singing the graduation song, and I wrote an entire all the lyrics to that. And someday when I'm brave enough, maybe I will record that. Emer42 said, "Was Jimmy supposed to be here? Is he traveling? I'm confused." Thank you that you said I'm slaying it. I don't feel like I am, but I appreciate that. Jimmy is in Disney, we think. He did make his flight. We know that. We don't really know anything else. I think he goes to Florida to disappear, or he's like outside of Peter's house. Yes. Christine said, "Will you be making members only icon emojis?" Yes, I want to make the little sea creatures into emojis. But I need to figure that out. Yeah, exactly. KY Heather said Disney. The morning that you, KY Heather, and Max's mom and everybody else got in trouble for the going into Lawyer You Know's chat and talking about Jimmy was one of the funniest. I haven't laughed that hard in a very long time. Like I was like literally tears streaming down my face. My stomach hurt from laughing so hard. Yeah, what classroom number should this be? I mean, I feel like a substitute normally just goes into the regular classroom, but maybe I'm like okay, everybody, I'm subbing, come into my classroom now. Okay. The last thing I had on my agenda for this morning, but I'm happy to just keep doing silly stuff, is I have a fun book I wanted to read to you. And the reason why I thought of reading this was because we were talking the other day, one of my first streams, about different authors, and I said that I didn't like the author Robert Munch, and then I needed wait, Tyler said, "Please water that poor plant behind you." This plant is, oh my gosh, I need somebody who's good with plants to come and like help me, because that plant used to be the happiest plant on earth when it was in my classroom. And then I brought it home and it's just not happy here. It really I'll show you guys a picture sometime of what it looked like in my classroom. It was so happy and now it's so sad and I don't know what to do. And when I was teaching, I used to pour seltzer in it and people were like, "You can't give your plant seltzer," but it was thriving, and now I don't pour seltzer in it anymore, and now it's not thriving. So yeah, if anybody can come help me with my plants. Actually, I like need to make a post about all the plants in my house that need help, because I'm not a plant person at all, but I really like having them. But they all need help. But anyway, so we were talking about authors. Let me get Yuri out of the way. And I said that I didn't like Robert Munsch, which is still a little bit true, but I forgot that Robert Munsch wrote my like #1 favorite book of all time, and that is The Paperbag Princess. So I want to read you The Paperbag Princess, and we're going to try it a little differently because I don't have the hard copy of it. So we're going to do it from the screen, and we'll see. I would love to know which way you guys like more, because I do like having the physical book, but I think this will be much easier for you to see the book. And I hope you love this book as much as I do, because it's really the best. Okay. So our fun book today is The Paperbag Princess. Oh, and I did one of those apps, but it like wasn't right, because it was like, your plant looks great. And I was like, I promise you it doesn't. Okay, The Paperbag Princess. And the reason why I want to read you this book is to remind you that you are awesome. Hold on. The Paperbag Princess by Robert Munsch. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. He took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. I knew someone was going to say knocker. That is so funny. You guys are the best. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait," shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "And is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon. And he took a huge deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth. And then the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon. And he jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again." I love this. So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. And when he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and he went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." But the dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" But the dragon was so tired, he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and he said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you're dressed like a real princess." "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat, and you look like a real prince, but you are a bum." And they didn't get married after all. The end. So that is the Paperbag Princess. And I think we could all be a little bit more like Elizabeth and just be very sneaky and thoughtful and know what we want. We can make things happen. Okay, let me see all this. You guys are the best. I have members. Like, this is the best. The way that you're gifting memberships also really is motivating for me to stick with this. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like after my very first live stream, like my brain was like, "Great, you did it. Now you never have to do it again." And I don't want that. I want to keep doing this. I really, really enjoy getting to connect with you all. So your support really does motivate me to not listen to the like little voice inside my head that's like, "Who are you and why are you doing this?" And I really appreciate that. Corinna said, "You're a breath of fresh air and I want to see more of you." And like, I really, that like, I don't know how to explain how much, I'm not like fishing for compliments. I just want you to know that it really does like quiet that voice that's telling me like, "What are you doing?" And I really appreciate that so much. Zach said, "Custard the Cowardly Dragon next, please." Is that a book? I don't know that one. Custard the Cowardly Dragon. I love any chance to get to use like an emoji like that I don't normally use. That dragon emoji is cool. How can you make, Pure Duckery said, "Don't overthink, you're doing a great job." Like, how? How do you not overthink? If anybody knows the answer to that, I would really appreciate that. That's everything I had planned. That's everything on my agenda, right? Can I show you guys a random funny video that I saw? I like love library people. Like for those of you who don't know, I got my, after I left the classroom, I got my degree in library science from Simmons, and I just love library people. And I saw this posted on a library Instagram page, and it was just so funny.
You can't trust everybody, but you can trust the New Berlin Public Library to give you access for free to hundreds of books, great programming and resources.
What? Library people are so funny. You can't trust everybody. That just really made me laugh. I really like those little librarians. So yes, I have, speaking of libraries, I think in the description of this video, I put my Amazon book list. And I said the last time that I shared it, I don't want you to feel like you need to purchase any of the books from Amazon. That was just the easiest way for me to organize everything. But if you have a local bookstore that you like to support, get them there. If you want to just take that list to your local library and check out books that way, do that. I love library people are the best. I don't know how to explain it. It's like library people are just not just people who work at libraries, but like people who go to libraries. And you can be a library person, just one time go into a library, it like changes you. It's just like, I feel like you walk into a library and you're like, oh, I'm smarter already just by walking in here. My son is doing a research project on libraries. He needs to interview a librarian. I love that. I would volunteer, but I'm not technically a librarian. I mean, I guess I have a degree, but I'm not. I've never actually been a librarian. Mitchell said, Emily, do not read the chat. We are distracting, but I don't have anything else planned. So now I can just read the chat because I don't have anything else to talk to you guys about. That was everything on my list. Malin said, anytime we take a vacation, I have to see their libraries. I love that. I went to a great library in Maine. Where were we? I forget what part of Maine. This past summer, and it was like all nautical themed, and there was like a little ship in the play area. It was very cool. Libraries are just cool places. Oh, wait. Not a robot said, I was a children's librarian and I miss it. I love that. Library perfume should be a thing. We could all smell like old books. I love that. You guys are the best. This was very fun. What else? Anything else? I said my goal was to try to do longer than an hour because I kind of started panicking every time at an hour, and we've gone longer than an hour. So I'm very proud of myself. Chaotic Mind said tomorrow, question mark. I don't know. I don't know if that might be a game time decision. Because I don't know if I'm free tomorrow morning. But if I am, I would love to do this again. That would also require me like coming up with new things I want to babble about. I actually have a lot of things about the trial I want to babble about, and we can talk about Snow some more. And we can watch them lie to us. Yeah, or I could just talk about Bluey. If you guys ever, I was thinking like, so that I don't bore you, maybe my first like members only will be me just explaining everything about Bluey and why I love it so much. And it's really the best. It is Carter's World. Exactly. We're just on Carter's schedule. It's Carter's World. It's like very hard for me to plan anything in advance because I don't know what that little rascal is going to have in store for me. But I love how much you guys love Bluey. Really. It's like when somebody likes your room or something, like knowing that you guys like Bluey as much as I do feels like a compliment. I love Bluey. My college kids. Yes. That's the other thing about Bluey. It's like, it's not even just for kids. It's like kids of all ages. It's really the best. This was a lot of fun. Any other questions or anything? I'm going to go back and read the chat after and see everything that I missed, and I'll respond to anything if it requires responding. I will water the plant. I promise. And you guys, I'm going to tell Jimmy that you guys were on your best behavior and that you were really so wonderful. Yeah, Zach is very observant. I said in a chat recently, so I ran the LA Marathon in 2010 and I finished at the same time. I was like a couple minutes ahead, but I was right next to Shia LaBeouf. And I said that in a chat one day, and then Zach like later was like, Emily, do you still run? And I was like, wait, how did you know that? So that was very observant. I did beat Shia LaBeouf in the LA Marathon, and now I don't run anymore because I don't have time for it. I wish I did. Dollar bucks. That's how Bluey says zing. Yeah, see, Megan, you get it. I used to be a runner too. Now I'm just a busy mom. And it's like getting back into running is a whole commitment. I walk a lot. Like I really, really love walking. Like a perfect weekend day for me would just be like a very long walk listening to whoever's on YouTube. But getting back into running it's a lot. Mitchell said, what's for lunch? If you paid attention at the beginning, you would know I am not the person to ask about that because I am not good at that stuff. Yeah, and I'm mostly I chase Carter around everywhere. I took him to basketball this past weekend and he loves elevators. There's an elevator there. He just wanted to go to the elevator. And I got such a workout just chasing him from the gym to the elevator and then dragging him back to the gym and then chasing him back to the elevator. So we're doing basketball through the Special Olympics, but I don't know if it's going to stick yet because I'm not sure he's ready. But I'm happy we tried. Nicola said, does he like pasta? He doesn't. I don't think he likes squishy things. He like touches everything before he tries it. He loves pizza, so I was like thinking that pasta would be like a good segue, but no, he does not. Shelly asked if he played basketball this time. So he played for like 5 minutes total. But it turns out one of the guys he's like on the board of the Special Olympics is good friends with my dad. And I walked in and I was like, oh, are you my dad's friend? So he was paying extra like attention to Carter and was really sweet about like bringing him in and kind of like getting him to do a couple little things that he was actually like ready for. Like he was like, Carter, hold this ball, like hit the line on the wall right there. So that was really cute. He really tried. Yes, Carter likes crunchy foods. Yes. Barbecue chips, specifically the barbecue chips from Whole Foods. And by accident, we got the organic ones once, which to me look exactly the same. To him, they were not. He would not eat them. So it's specifically the like 365 brand barbecue chips. That's a good idea. Not a robot said I just fry every food before introducing it to a picky eater. I like that idea. We could put it in the air fryer. Barbecue chicken pizza. Yeah, see, then that would get us like to chicken. I'm just trying to think like what. Oh, you can air fry pasta to make it like chips. That sounds smart. So you guys are the best. This is why I like can't listen to the voice inside my head that says, what in the world are you doing? Because I really like this and I like getting to connect with you guys. Flavored cashews. That sounds like something I would want to eat. That sounds good. Okay. I guess I should log off now. It always feels weird at the end of the stream. The beginning feels really scary and the end always feels weird, like I'm just like walking out of the room while you guys are all still hanging out. Oh, the other food that he really does love is from Trader Joe's, the dried strawberries and dried bananas. Cashews are great for neurodivergent brains. I did not know that. And now, see, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Okay, I'm going to just walk out of the room now, and it's always awkward. Just Irish goodbye. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I don't know how everybody always makes this seem so normal. Like everybody else who I watch, it doesn't feel awkward when they're like, okay, it's time to go. But I feel so awkward. Okay, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will let you know about tomorrow when I know more. Thank you, Trial Channel, for being the best. Just the best mod, the best channel, the best everything. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Love you all very much. And now you get to watch Hank. Sorry, Mom.
John Keefe was 46 years old. Psst, Peg, time to cry. Because remember, oopsies, you thought he was 45. John Keefe was not a buffalo on the prairie. When I was a kid, I used to throw boulders off of bridges. Ah, what a thrill. The dater is the dater. And tonight, I'm going on a dater with Shannon Welcher. We have no idea how the collision happened, but if you have any doubts left, remember this. My best friend, Jen McCabe, said Bella's mom. Of course Karen hit him. Speaking of Jen McCabe, she's a soccer mom. She doesn't use Signal like Arca. She keeps everything right out in the open, like how long until John dies in the cold. Didn't need Michael Proctor. Tully is our Uber driver now. As the trial ends, we remember Barrows lied not, Kelly Dever. I know our times changed to whatever, but cops can't solve crime in bad weather.